Greetings, everyone. Happy Friday, and thank you for joining us on Turning a Moment into a Movement. I am J Love, I'm your host, and I also represent the Justice for Gerard Movement. Gerard is my son who was wrongfully convicted of a crime that he didn't do, had no knowledge of, and he went to prison for that crime. And I say this every week because of what happened to him and all the people that I met on this journey of wrongful conviction. Um, I realized that a wrongful conviction can happen to anybody at any time. And because I felt so strong about what happened to my son, I didn't want to happen to anyone else's son or daughter or husband or uncle or wife. We created this platform called Turning a Moment into a Movement. And so our mission here is to bring awareness to the wrongful convictions of Gerard and all others who are wrongly convicted, over sentenced, medically ill, mentally ill, medically frail in our community, to inspire, organize, and educate all communities about the needs to disrupt systems, policies, and patterns of the criminal legal system that leads to wrongful convictions. And so, because of that and that mission, we come here every Friday to talk about not only wrongful convictions and how they happen and how they affect us, but also other injustices and how they affect us. So, this week we are going to talk about Black women and equality in healthcare. And that's because we're also talking about the Civil Rights Act and 60 years. Um, this will be the 60th anniversary of that act. And so we want to just look at different um, um, things about the act and how they looked at 60 years ago and what's going on right now. And right now, we want to talk about Black women, as a matter of fact, and their health care. So before we get on the topic, I want to bring in um, my esteemed panel who is also on this journey with me. And I'm going to start with Revatia. Hey, Revatia.
Well, hello, J Love. How are you?
I'm great.
I
How
am
about you?
I'm wonderful. I'm just glad to be here this evening and excited about the topic because and as you know, we have people who are women who are behind bars, and so whether you are behind bars or not, this is important because Black women uh, do not have an equal say in when it comes to healthcare, and that is includes those who are, as we know, our crystal is suffering, and that's just poor care for women. Period. You know,
Right.
and of course, I know we'll be talking about some of the things that she has stated that has happened with her and how they are not listening to her. But this is a problem throughout all of America. And so we have to know that when we are going to the doctor, there are things that we have to be very cognizant of. And so, yeah, come to you from the choice zone where compassionate care is definitely the key. It's my motto. And of course, with the choice zone, I like to make sure that everybody has a choice in who they are, what they are expressing from themselves. And listen, if you are interested in doing your own business and really going according to what you feel compassionate about, make sure you get in touch with me at Tia Taylor at thechoicezone.com. That's my email. And Jay, I'm telling you, there are many things that we're going to be talking about today when we're talking about healthcare. And the problem is that when we say something, they don't believe it,
Right.
you know. And I'm sure we're going to mention some other things. And we got to remember that sometimes the studies are not done with us in mind, but sometimes they're done with us. That's a whole nother thing.
And sometimes it's done without us.
Without us.
So
Sometimes
yeah,
they to study, but don't tell us that they're using us.
exactly. Thank you, Reverend Tia. I see
Thank you.
Trisha here. I'm going to bring Trisha on. Hi, Trisha.
Hey everybody, good evening. How y'all doing?
Good
Great.
evening.
How about yourself?
I'm blessed. Not feeling the best on tonight, but that is in part why I wanted to come on, because we continue to see our needs not being met in healthcare. And it breaks my heart what's going on with Crystal, and what's going on with many Black women across this country. Black folks in general, right? It's not the health care system for us, it's the health scare system, as
Mm-hmm.
Valerie tags it. So while I'm not necessarily grateful to be talking about something that's so detrimental, I'm grateful for this platform that continues to uplift, that continues to share knowledge, that continues to educate, because that's a big problem. We've become comfortable with our circumstances, but as we educate ourselves, we can move into action. And so I'm grateful. I'll dig a little more and share a little more of this story and how they didn't listen to me when I went to the hospital the other day. But I just wanted to say that I resonate with this topic as I have been battling a chronic illness since 2004. And so, but still blessed and ready to dive in tonight. Love you, ladies.
We love you too, Trisha.
Love you,
Thank you.
Touche.
So I want to say to Mr. Stronghold, you are welcome to join us. This conversation is relevant to all. But we just need to have it. I talked to Crystal this week, and she literally had me in tears. I do have a video that I want to play her audio of some things she recorded this week. But as I was listening to um, Crystal, I think a day or so later, I talked to Reverend Tia, and I was saying, they're not even they don't listen to Chris. They're not listening to Crystal, but they don't listen to us either. And we're not even, behind bars. We're not incarcerated. And so um I was thinking about that, and I heard about the story of another Crystal Anderson, who passed away. I think she passed away last month. But I want to play this video. I was telling Reverend Tia about it because this week is also Black Maternal Awareness Week, and the disparities of Black women who are still dying at a record rate in childbirth. And even outside, I mean, just the process of having a baby. More Black women are dying 3 to 4 times more than white women. So I want to play this video to get us started in this conversation, Revertia. I think Alexandria be popping in soon. But I want to play this video because this video is what brought on the conversation for tonight, besides Crystal. Um, Let me get that video. Just 1 second, you guys. All right, there's Trisha. Okay, we got you back, Trisha.
Sorry about that. I had to
No,
switch over.
no worries. Um, Hold on, you guys. I'm trying to find the video. I think this one.
She was my world. She my best friend, and obviously the love of my life and the mother to our children. One of the issues I guess I have with the system overall is, Crystal's 40 and she's Black, and we'd had a loss before. But even then, they say, you can't start a plan with maternal fetal medicine or the high-risk maternity doctors until you get to week 14. So they're like, we have to get Charlotte out of there because you're not trending very well. And now it's about saving you, Mama, not just Charlotte. And so we asked, like, is there a way that you can try to get Charlotte out in a way that we can hold her? Because that means a lot to hold your baby, even if they're passed on. And they said they'll try it. She would want everything to shine and sparkle, and she would want her laughter to be spread. So while, obviously this is terrible and tragic, and, I don't think she wanted to be the person to champion these causes, but if she was going to do it, she was going to do it with joy.
Yeah. So when I saw this video of Crystal's husband, I think I had been hearing about it all week. And then I didn't know that this week was pertaining to that. But when I saw this story about Crystal and, and many other women who voices go unheard, I'm like, this is 2024. Why is this still a thing? Why is there not equity in healthcare for women, for Black women, for all women? Why is this still today a thing, Rabatia?
Yeah, what's amazing is that we've had so many, we had Black hospitals. And I don't just want to say Black hospitals. We used to have hospitals in our communities that helped the people in the community. And they did everything from mental health. They did absolutely everything at these hospitals. And slowly and surely, we have to look at the monopoly of hospitals. We all know about the game of Monopoly and how it's played. And so Monopoly, if you are the monopoly of the hospitals, if you really look at hospitals today and realize that how many hospitals are there, and then you're looking at what hospitals systems, medical systems. Before you had hospitals, you had community hospitals. I don't even know of any more that are left, and maybe one or two. But as far as when I was younger, we had and I grew up over on Oakman area. They had the Kerwood Hospital, and Kerwood Hospital had mental health. And my mother was over the mental health department there, the social worker there. They had mental health, and they had, where you could actually, they had rooms where they could service you there at the hospital. And just think about it. We don't have community hospitals anymore. Or what is it, Herman Kiefer? Now that was a little bit, they needed some regulation, probably some other regulations going on there. However, It was there in the community. And so when we look at all of the different hospitals just around the Detroit area, all of those hospitals are gone. So we have been, when we weren't supposed to have all these monopolies in what they call capitalism, we now only have a select few of places that we can go, and we're in a system. We're in a system now.
Yeah.
Is that really, did that really help us as a community? Because how far do we have to go now to get to a hospital? And how far do we have to go to get to a good hospital? Because
Right.
I've been to some hospitals, and Trisha knows, we've been there together fighting for somebody to get help. And it was deplorable. It was deplorable. And clearly there was a lack of training and sensitivity to the people, to the people they're supposed to be serving.
Right. Hi,
So I
Allie.
think that has a lot to do with it.
Hello,
Hey,
everyone.
Allie.
Hey, hello, everyone. I feel like I know, well, Alexandria, mental health, human rights activist. Just listening to the conversation a bit as I came in, I definitely know what we're talking about. That video that's circulating of uh, the doctors and nurses storming out in protests. Um, you know,
Oh, we ain't even got to that, but go
We didn't
ahead.
get to that one yet.
well, that. Oh yeah. No, I saw that and I sent it to some family members because I have loved ones who go to that hospital. I want to grab the name here so I make sure I have that
St.
actual
John.
name. St. John's, yeah. Yeah, St. John's Hospital. Um, yeah, I know a few people who go there, a few elderly people as well. And when things like that happen, it just, you have your primary care doctors who know your situation and who you've been dealing with so long, and with how you can be treated sometimes in healthcare as a Black person. It's so important to have that. Um, so when I saw that, I immediately thought about that. And it just made me curious about the working conditions. So I did read a little.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the other day. I didn't even think about grabbing that video, but just seeing all those doctors walking out of the hospital was like, oh my goodness. Who are the majority? Where is the hospital? It's in the neighborhood. Who's the majority of the patients? You saw who the doctors are. And if they're walking out of there, then it has to be horrific, the conditions inside. We were talking about her name is Crystal Alexandria, and no, Crystal Anderson, and she died of sepsis after her stillborn. I mean, her baby died. And so this week they have been talking a lot about her story, and so we were talking about the Black women not being heard and in the medical system, as Revertia said, it's a system. I remember Revertia when I was a kid, we had neighborhood hospitals, and then they start all disappearing. If something happened, your parent would run you down the street to the neighborhood hospital. And we did have a lot of doctors. I think my pediatrician was a Black doctor. As a kid, I had a Black doctor. And my mother really trusted him. And so, as far as I was concerned, we had great health care. It was until I became an adult and started going to the doctor for things for myself. I realized they started changing what I was telling them. You would say one thing and they're like, doubt, oh no, this. Or it's no, you can't be feeling that. I remember I had fell and broke my ankle. And I had to get a plate and 2 screws. And so the metal in my ankle, I would feel it. And I would tell the doctor, the feelings that I was having about this metal being in my ankle, holding my ankle together. And he was like, you can't possibly be feeling that. I'm like, how can you tell me what I'm feeling? I'm feeling it. And I remember telling my grandfather about it, and he was saying, don't ever let anybody tell you what you're not feeling, or, advocate for yourself. So we hear all these stories. Even Serena Williams was talking. She could have died in childbirth because they wasn't listening to her. So we have all these stories. I'm going to play another video, you guys. And this one is even talking about that, Serena Williams.
You're a woman of color in this country, especially if you're Black. Your odds of dying in childbirth are 3 to 4 times higher on average in our country.
Why? Because you're not talking about access to healthcare. You're not talking about money or education.
No, and this is going to be hard to hear. We believe Black women less when they express concerns about the symptoms they're having, particularly around pain. And that's the common thread in all the stories we've been hearing in the media, including Serena Williams.
Yes, even Serena Williams, the world-class athlete who developed a pulmonary embolism after giving birth to her daughter last September.
We had a lot of complications, but look what we got.
She says that had she not insisted on receiving a CAT scan, she could have died.
We're leaving the hospital after 7 days, 6 days. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what Bueller was saying. I waited 38 years for my open cut hysterectomy. Not one gynecologist will perform my surgery until I met my doctor. And yes, I had top of the line health insurance. Trisha?
Unfortunately, I don't think it matters whether you got top of the line health insurance or whether you got Medicaid. If you look like us, it's a problem. So I relate to what the sister is saying because, before I became to a position where I couldn't work full time and I lost my benefits. Before that, hey, I had the insurance, but there is still no diagnosis no definitive diagnosis. It was always back and forth because they were not listening. And I think that's the key thing is that when it comes to our healthcare, they are not listening to us, period. End of February, I came down with norovirus. I went to the urgent care that Monday. I came down on it was Sunday, just sick, just vomiting for almost 20 hours straight. I went to the urgent care, IHA urgent care in Canton, and I said, ma'am, I feel empty. I said, I told her that I'd been vomiting. I said, I need an IV. So they took my vitals and she says, well, based on your vitals, I don't think you need an IV. I said, ma'am, I'm telling you how I feel. All right. Nurse comes in. I'm like, oh my God, it's freezing in here. Can I have a blanket? We don't have any. We have to deal with it. I said, so I just let her go out. Then she came back in to do something else. I said, to be honest, I don't even know if I want you to wait on me. I said, because your bedside manner is horrible. You have no compassion. So I started to share with her. I said, you told me just deal with it. I didn't say that then she had to stop. She said, I did say that, but I didn't mean it like that. I said, no, what happens is you get so caught up in this system of doing things that you are so familiar with the system that you have forgot about the service of dealing with the people. Left there, did not get the IV, by the way. To the next night, I'm being rushed to the hospital by an ambulance. I'm telling them I'm having heart palpitations. I did mention the norovirus. I said I was having heart palpitations. That's the presenting thing that I'm presenting to you. They get me to the emergency and said I had norovirus. They say nothing about my heart. Now, that changes the trajectory of your care because everybody in there had norovirus. It was 30, 40 people in there. So if you would have listened and told them that my presenting indication was heart palpitations, they probably would took me to the back and put me on a heart monitor. Did not happen. Kept going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Fast forward to the other day. I'm back at the hospital by ambulance and get there. And I just happened to look at the paperwork and it said chest pain. I didn't say nothing about no chest pain. I said heart palpitations and stabbing in my heart area, right? So when I asked the person, why is this on here? Well, I mean, your chest, your heart is in your chest. Said, that's true. But if you don't present it as what the person is telling you, how do you know what I said? Because I know what chest pain feels like. And it wasn't a chest pain, it was directly related to my heart palpitations and my flutterings. So what? I sat there. And of course, because when you're in those moments of heart palpitations, they weaken you because your heart is just steady pounding. And I couldn't sit there, so I left. And I just really became because I've been dealing with this since 2004. This treatment as if what I'm telling them don't matter. And that's why if I'm going through it in my freedom, why I feel so gut-wrenching and just heartbroken for Crystal. Because she don't even stand a chance at all. I don't stand a chance either. I mean, I'm free. But it show you we not free. Because as long as you look like us in this healthcare system, they not listening. I see the sister said it took her 38 years. Thinking of all the pain and the suffering that she had to go through. I had a hysterectomy. So I understand that whole process. That ain't nothing. That's something hard to deal with. But they not listening to us. And then when we elevate ourselves because we get mad and we say, stop treating me like this. Oh, now they want to put you out the hospital. So that's why I had to leave the hospital because I felt some evil words swelling up in my system. And I didn't want to get put out, so I just left. But it's just horrible. It's horrible. It's not right. And a lot of us just deal with it. And we don't fight back. We don't say anything. But when you don't check something, it continues.
Goodness, Trisha. Go ahead, Allie.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for saying everything you said, Trisha. It's so true. I guess it's not enough said. It's not. It's and it's so normalized for it to happen that it's so disgusting. And that loophole in the 13th Amendment is so true. And it just shows every day. Just what I dropped in the chat was just a resource I thought everybody should know about. Joel Burvell, he is a Yale graduate, a current medical student, Black medical student. He's blew up on social media because of the videos he would make bringing to light the medical racism that is happening from a historical perspective and currently how things that they're doing today and things he's currently learning in medical school, things he's learning in the hospitals. He's bringing all of it to light. And anybody, everyone watching, I recommend following him. But he's that's in the comments. It's Joel Burvell, JoelBervell. He's the real deal. He's not doing it for clout or money. He is grinding and doing it for the love of the people. So check that out because they don't talk about it. There's doctors who would use thicker needles on black skin because they think we're stronger. That is a thing. Um, you know, whether it's that or childbirth and just thinking we're immune to pain, or like when we're stressed out, we can go through it. Have to, we don't need certain treatments. We'll just get through it. That's not true. We all are deserving of as many options as everybody else. So everybody has a bad day every once in a while.
Yeah, see those old stigmas and bias narratives that has followed and plagued Black people forever. Saying that, I remember a doctor told me about, having a high tolerance of pain. No, I'm in pain because I'm not getting, the treatment that is necessary for me to get out of pain. I don't have a high tolerance of pain. But we have to deal with these kind of treatments because people have these weird conceptions about Black women and Black pain and trauma. There was another video, you guys. Today's just gonna be. I want to play about.
United States, Black women are 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related deaths than white women. What makes this statistic even more harrowing is that 80% of pregnancy-related deaths are preventable. When we have discussions about pregnancy, reproductive rights, Roe v. Wade, contraception, amongst other things, Black women are having totally different conversations. All women and their experiences and their reproductive health are not a monolith. More than any other race in America, a Black woman getting pregnant could lead to a death sentence. But why is that? Well, I spent the last several years actually studying this phenomenon in my doctoral work. And I discovered that more often than not, it has to do with biases in healthcare, racism, discrimination, and everything in between. We must keep fighting against the reproductive healthcare inequities that Black women face. Keep this in mind as we celebrate Black Maternal Health Week. Do something kind if there's a Black mom in your life.
Yeah. Wow, Beulah, I just don't have words to say. I can't even imagine 38 years waiting for a surgery. It's insane and it's injustice. And that's the thing, it's a cruel injustice. And as we going to get to Crystal's story, just talking about our story, when we have the ability to go to doctors, when we have insurance to go to a doctor, when you may need to see a specialist or whatever, and you get you feel like you're not being heard, it's a terrible feeling that you leave somewhere and whatever is going on you is not addressed. What Trisha just talked about, like none of the things she went to emergency for was addressed. Who do you go to when you think you're going to the right place, to emergency, because you're having an emergency, and they're sending you back home, or they're telling you, make you doubt how you feel. These things go on every day in 2024. We're not talking about 1974. We're talking about 2024. These same things are still going on today. Go ahead, Rabatia.
Yeah, and I think that we have to know the myths, that the top myths that are out there regarding Black women, and that is the default human myth that assumes that medical knowledge and treatment approach to, often white people or white males also goes to people of color, and it doesn't matter the gender. So they don't realize there are, and I think we need to know there are differences. Some medicines work well in African Americans, and some medicines that may work well in our Caucasian brothers and sisters don't work well in us. There is a difference in the makeup. We have more copper. When you know what makes up our bodies, then you know that it can't be the same approach. You can't have the same approach. There's also a gap in education, regarding that, so that they don't receive the information in the schools. So they're not educated according to African Americans' bodies. And of course, there is underrepresentation in the medical resources, in the books, and of course, in the medical field itself. The care and treatment, we already started talking about that, is different especially toward African American females or women of color. Another myth is regarding higher pain tolerance. And we've just talked about that a little bit, but it's the belief. I don't know where that came from, that Black women can endure more pain. That's a misconception. And Ali already talked about it. And it's misconceived because they say we have thicker skin because of our color. That is totally ridiculous. It shows the ignorance at such high levels of education. But people believe the myth. And then another myth is that the stereotype of Black women, which I can attest to, being in the hospital and birthing twins. And so Joshua was having complications. And they came, and the one twin they brought to me, I kept saying, well, where's his brother? Where's his brother? And they wouldn't say anything at first, but they didn't think he was going to survive. And so they brought the social worker up to me twice. Now, mind you, I was a social worker at the time. So I understand her line of questioning. And she started questioning me. She said, you sure you don't do drugs? You don't drink? And there's the misconception. This is the last one of Black women are drug addicted. It's a myth. You go into the hospital and they believe that. And the sad thing about it was she was a Black social worker questioning me. And I finally told her, I said, I done answered this question about 3 or 4 times. I know your line of questioning. I said, I'm a social worker. Get the hell out of my room. And so then the next time she came back up and she tried to hand me some pamphlets. And this is where your faith comes in. And she said, you're going to need this because he's not going to make it. I said, he's going to make it. He's going to make it. He's going to make it to tomorrow. And then he's only going to be in here 7 more days, and then I'm going to take him home. It happened just like that. And I told her she can keep her paperwork. I said, because God wouldn't have named him Joshua if he wasn't going to live. But listen, I say that to say that you got to be led out here. And you have to stand on your word. And then also, you got to know the line of questioning when they're giving you these questions. You got to say, wait a minute, check them. Like Trisha said, check them. And yes, many times you have to leave the hospital, which is sad. Exactly. See, Beulah said they asked her 1,000 times that I smoke. Ridiculous. Know the statistics, because the amount of pregnancy-related deaths has increased in the U.S., and this is just from 87 to 2014, 26%. And that's according to the CDC. And still they say, they put in there that United States ranks lowest out of all developed countries. Get that last line. Like, who cares? Don't compare me when you try to say that U.S. is supposed to have the best medical. Read and study Get the information. We are not ranked number one in the world. Hear me. We are not ranked number one in the world. Okay. We are not acting as if we are not acting as if we have any top medical processes. So know this. Emory University can. So go ahead, Allie. What were you gonna say?
I was just thinking, like, when I think medical, when I think healthcare, what's coming to mind for me is probably, I mean, it's obviously what comes to mind for us for community is obviously different than what comes to mind for like the owners, the corporate side of it, which is the for-profit part, the maintaining of the institution part, which is where the care, I feel like the care part is removed, and that's where it's the line is like where it's inaccurate in the terminology of, oh, this country has the best healthcare service for people. This is the most prestigious. It is the most, I would say, like there's a lot of institutions that are well funded, and maintained off of funding, but that does not translate to the community. That's the difference. There's a disconnect.
That's right.
So there's
right.
funding for the institution, but there is not funding for the people. There's not funding. That's called socialism when it's flowing
Yeah.
to the people, and
Mhm.
it's in a capitalistic manner here. And second, on your point of statistics, it it's beyond the best system when just out on your point of the CDC was looking at that. 80% of pregnancy related deaths are preventable. Just looking at that CDC number, and that's 4 and 5.
Yeah.
4 and 5. And at that point, you have to say, okay, it's not working. There's no saving what we have. You have to completely try something new. And I would have thought COVID would have been a test to that, a really enough to say we have to stop this.
Yeah.
We have to change course.
Mm-hmm.
And
No,
it seem have like how the schools have, like, you see how the schools have like kind of like in employers jobs have like made a lot virtual. There's a lot different after COVID work wise, and with the schools things are a lot more flexible. It's a lot, but with the healthcare industry there doesn't seem to be very much since COVID, you would think, since a crisis of the world. But gotta make that
Yeah, there's
money,
no
right?
Yeah, not a lot of transformation with that. Not lot of transformation with the people who lead the medical field economically. And I want to address and say thank you, blessed love. Yes, everyone's chemistry is different, and when you look at if you get DNA, like for instance, I have a sister-in-law. Um, she did her DNA, and so her background is a little different than mine. She is one out of many of us who can consume milk and cheese and all that. But she has heritage from the people who could. So a lot of what we need to do is to get to know, like I always say, who we are and what we need. Another thing is to seek out other resources, seek out answers. When you stop going to the same doctor, I, I get amazed at people who stick with the same doctor, even though they're using antiquated resources, and even though they're not listening to them, and we still want them to hear us. Get somebody else. Get somebody who has answers and solutions. You know, if you look at, I like this. Emory University conducted a study in early 2000s in an emergency room. It was during the 2000s of Atlanta, and it showed that 74% of white patients, 74%, receive painkillers for their bone fractures, while only 50% of Black patients did.
and then
And
that
yeah,
also brings up where the opioid crisis, right? The opioid crisis showed that more white women who were the majority that was going through it, they were getting these scripts, right, for whatever. But Black people wasn't getting their scripts like that. And so when this crisis came, because they was writing these scripts, these doctors for pains. It was literally like a pain meal, pill meals. They was just writing all these scripts. It was more white people that were caught up in it because they was, writing all these scripts for pain medications, and Black people wasn't getting the scripts. We had to do something else for pain, right? So when you have all these inequities that's going on in our community, when you're talking about pain, when you're talking about health care, your care, you're right. You do need to seek doctors that are listening to you. And if that one's not listening to you, then you need to seek another one. Go to somebody else until you finally feel comfortable with somebody who is listening to you. And I want to play this video that's she's talking about questions that you should ask while you in the doctor's office.
Black women, this is for you. This is actual things you can say to advocate for yourself with the doctors. If you feel like the doctor is not really listening to you, you can say, I want to make sure you're clearly hearing me. I'm here to be treated for X. Are you qualified to help me with that? Wait for them to say yes. Great. So let's discuss appropriate treatment options for that. Now, if they say no, also great, because that means that you're talking to the wrong person. And the first step in getting quality healthcare is speaking to the right healthcare professional. So if they say no, say, who is the right person? Do I need a referral to see them? And then get the hell out of there. Now, if you're in serious pain, you're requesting pain medication, and the doctor is just assuming that you are there to get narcotics to feed a drug addiction. That is a very common assumption made about Black women. You can say, to be clear, I'm not looking for a specific type of medication. I'm looking for whatever is going to be best at treating X. What would you recommend? Now, if for some reason that doesn't work, then you need to say, please write it in my medical records that I reported to you that my pain level was a 9. I requested pain medication multiple times, and you are refusing to provide it. If you feel like you're getting treatment suggestions that don't align with what you came in for, you can say, thank you for the suggestion. Can you please explain how that will address XYZ? Asking questions forces people to think through the logic when they answer it, and so they'll either give you a good rationale for that treatment suggestion, or they won't, and they'll have to pivot. If you feel like you're getting superficial suggestions for what appears to be an internal issue, like just take Tylenol or put ice on it, you can say, I understand how that might address the symptom, but I'd really like to discuss how we can identify and address the root cause of the issue. And lastly, if you feel like your doctor is distracted, I think we've all been in the room and the doctor's like shimmying out the door before you've even finished saying what you have to say, you can always say, I know you've got a lot of patients and you're extremely busy, but I need 10 minutes of your time to focus on my situation.
That was good. That was a good map of suggestions of things to say in a calm way. What you thinking about that, Rabatia?
Yeah, she hit on all of those, and she really addressed the myths. I thought that was really good. And yeah, the thing about it is you will have to say bye a lot of times. You will have to. You have to get out of there sooner than later. You have to know that there are some answers and solutions, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about that, what we can do. How, because even though you may have a thing about natural medicines or natural things you can do, be open to hearing all solutions.
Right.
Open to hear all solutions. And sometimes it's combining a little bit of the Eastern with a little bit of Western, and having real live remedies for your body. And so just know that there are answers and solutions, and talk to each other, talk to people, because word of mouth is still the best way of getting things out. Yeah, I
Right.
know
And you
people
want
putting a lot of,
solutions.
yeah, you want real solution. Word of
You
mouth,
don't
talk to people.
want
What's your doctor's name? How does your doctor treat women of color?
right.
How do they
Sometimes that's the
treat
best
women,
way
period?
to find a good
What's
doctor.
that?
Sometimes word of mouth is the best way to find a great doctor, because you might run
Mhm.
into have a conversation with someone and they might say, well, my doctor, does this A, B, and C. And you like thinking, oh, really? Okay, let me get this number. I mean, even if your doctor is not open to different modalities of healthcare, then you should think about, maybe I need to find me somebody that's more current and up to date, because some doctors just want to write a script and send you on your way, but that script is only masking what the real problem is. And do you really want to be dependent on a pill, or do you want solutions? And always be open to a second opinion. Just because you get a diagnosis doesn't mean that diagnosis is the reality. Maybe you need a second or third opinion before you even, to make sure that you're taking the right steps in your health. This last video I want to play before we get to Crystal, it's another reason why we need to always get a second opinion.
Jessica Petway, a well-known beauty and fashion YouTuber, just passed away of cervical cancer at only age 36. And her story is so important to talk about because it raises lots of issues about the tragedies that can happen when women, especially Black women, are not listened to. She told her story in her Instagram. Basically, in 2022, she started having intense bleeding to the point that she was actually hospitalized 3 times in several months. Now, somehow during all of these hospitalizations and visits, no one apparently did a pelvic exam or a pap smear. They diagnosed her with a fibroid, presumably on imaging studies. Lots of Black women have fibroids. It can be a red herring. So it sounds like they were like, oh, you're bleeding because of your fibroid, and didn't do further investigation. When she finally had a pelvic exam in early 2023, they saw a huge cervical mass, and she was diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer. Cervical cancer is actually almost an entirely preventable cancer. You should be able to detect it in precancerous stages and treat it so it doesn't turn into cancer. I am begging healthcare professionals. I see stories like this so much where, they say, like, my doctor said it was normal, like they treated it like it wasn't a big deal. Please listen to women. Please listen, especially to Black women. If someone is still having severe pain, heavy bleeding, don't be dismissive. Don't be like, oh, it's just like a period. It's just fibroids. Dig a little bit deeper. Try and figure out what's going on. There are answers. We just have to find them. Jessica deserves so much more. I hope that we can talk about her story to help raise awareness to try and prevent this from happening ever again.
One more, you guys.
Yo, it's Doc P, and I have to say this one last time. As Black people, the thought is that when we go to the most prestigious Ivy League research hospitals and healthcare institutions, that we will get a fair shake, that we will get the best healthcare possible. This oftentimes is not the case, right? I keep trying to explain that your healthcare, your surgeries, how you get taken care of from a medical perspective is a direct reflection of who is taking care of you, right? Your doctors, your nurses, who is directly in charge of your care has more to do with the name of the institution that you go to. Today, I just had another patient that went to a prestigious Ivy League, well-researched hospital. And over the past decade, they have brutalized this woman. She has vertical incision myomectomies. I looked in her belly today and she has adhesions, fibroids. She has the worst case scenario as it pertains to her female reproductive health. And this was at a prestigious institution. So I tell you again that when it comes to your healthcare, like, do not fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Like, understand that at these prestigious institutions, you could get horrible, piss poor care. And it's some of the most regular, no-name hospitals that have great physicians and surgeons there that love you and will take care of you properly. You can get the best care. I don't work at the place that I work at because I care about notoriety and fame. I work there because I have a mission to stay true to my people. But because I do work there, many people will look at it like, oh, you work at that hospital, so it has to be bad and you have to be bad. We choose to work where we want to, right? As physicians, as surgeons, as healthcare professionals, we can go and work wherever we want to work. All right. If you choose to work in a place, you may have a vested interest to work in that place. You don't necessarily have to work where people think you are supposed to work because of a name or because of money. So do your research on your provider.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to do
Go
the
ahead.
research.
This is
Yeah.
you know, watching this just makes me think of like the importance of, you know, knowing who to call on or knowing who your folks are when you're, say, going through crises or experiencing a medical issues. Just having all of your contacts in one place and having the folks you can trust. Um, there's something I know Bay Area Transformative Justice Collective does. It's called pod mapping. Um, and it's something I highly encourage people get together with other community members, friends, or whoever to do. A pod is typically made up of people you would call on when you're experiencing abuse, violence, harm, or like just I don't know, like health issues. You call on them to support you, um, and or it could be uh, organizations or groups, etc. But it's a healthy way to work through problems. And I feel like with how this current system is, it's a tool we need to have, and versus, you know, just hoping at the last minute we get what we want, uh, because our health is a lifelong journey. So each time we find something out, we need to be adding that into our pod.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ramatia.
Yeah, that's good, Allie. And I think maybe I don't know, maybe I'm gonna talk with Jay's, maybe keeping the conversation going so that we can speak to one another and put some answers and solutions out there. Um, because it's when the awareness comes when you see all the tragedies that are happening, and still yet they've been practicing on African American women and has been the center of the medical field as far as uh, scientific experimentation is concerned since the 1800s.
Yeah.
And doctors, they call him the father of gynecology, James Marion Sims. He performed all of his experimentations were on Black women. All of his work was able to be done, it says, by the dark slave trading taking place in Montgomery from 1845 to 1849. Just in that short period of time, he performed over 30 inhumane experiments on African women. And so a lot of these ideas of women being stronger comes from then. It comes from them using us in experimentations and as if we can endure it. And I want us to really understand that's how come, we come here every week, because a lot of the views, even when police officers can stand and watch African Americans being brutally killed or hurt, um, it's because of this practice, this perception of who we are. And for some reason, it's tough. They can take it. They can take it, you know. And so we need to understand how that has evolved through the years and has taken away from our humanity. This is ridiculous, you know. And
And
not to say, okay, go ahead, Jay, because I can go on and get ready to talk about the placentas, but I won't bring it up yet. I'll wait
I
till
was
another
just going to
time.
say,
Hold on
Ramatia,
to
and
your placenta.
so you brought his name up, Dr. Sims, and I was just listening to something that was talking about him, and what is the college that the black coach just won the coach of the year? Her team just, what college is that, Reverend Tia?
Was that
That just won the female,
right?
that just won the championship.
They did, and now I'm forgetting the name.
I
The
can't
North
remember.
What was
Carolina.
that?
I was so happy for him.
I was so happy for him too. I can't remember.
But
I'm
anyway, they were saying that same college has the dorms or whatever that's named after this doctor, that was performing all these insane surgeries on black women. And so when, again, as you say, Reverend T, we got to get to know ourselves. We do. We have to
Right.
get to know ourselves on a level where we know our history as well. And when we are in these spaces and places that still have these oppressive, you know, people,
Mm-hmm.
that have titles, and we're living in these spaces, or we're going to these schools with these, we have to, remember that these people cause great harm to us, and our bodies. And that's why today we're still suffering from these narratives that we have tough skins, because he was giving black women these hysterectomies and doing these surgeries with no anesthesia.
No,
You
no,
know,
yeah, none. Yeah, that's right. It was South Carolina, Allie. It was South Carolina. Mm-hmm.
yeah, there you
And,
go.
and South Carolina is known for some things. It's down there. You know. um, yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, there was a study at Emory University that I was reading, and utilizing a lady named Lucy throughout a study, who was an African woman, and to the point where she ended up having being poisoned, receiving lead, I think lead poisoning through one of the tools. It's horrific reading, time after time, the studies, the experiments, and just uh, dehumanizing women, period. But African women of color, has been just horrendous. It's unthinkable. I don't know. I've been telling my daughter, and I just want to let everybody know that they use your placenta when you have a baby for stem cells. You don't get any money, but yet, if you try to go get stem cell um, procedures, I have people who have paid 10,000, 20,000 just for processes for stem cells. And if you go and ask for your placenta, that's yours coming out of your body, you have to sign paperwork in advance. So if you're going in, and my daughter had to deliver on an emergency, she could not get her placenta. It doesn't take much. They tell you how to pack it up, but because it was, and they weren't going to help me do it. And this was at a very prestigious hospital just 4 years ago. So now going forward, I tell young women in my family, get the paperwork done early and bring home your placenta. Now, the rest of you who are looking and listening, look up how good the placenta is. Look up what it's used for and educate yourselves. And see, Native women used to birth the baby and hold on. She stayed connected. So the umbilical cord actually never had to be cut.
Mhm.
The umbilical cord would eventually come off. Yeah, I wonder who started that procedure.
Mm,
and why? Okay,
right.
so maybe it was to quicken the process of getting them back to work. I'm just saying. I'm just
Right.
saying.
Hey, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, Reverend Tia. They think, you know, you have a baby in 6 weeks, you can go back full-fledged and, you know,
Exactly.
just
Exactly.
saying.
We got to really think and rethink. We have to rethink these things.
The next day, pretty much, after you had the baby, you know, you don't even stay in the hospital. You used to be able to stay in the hospital, rest, get sleep. Nope. Wham, bam. Okay. See you at home. You know, because it's about, again, and I think Blessed Love brought it up a couple of
Mm-hmm.
times, more about profits
Yeah,
than anything. That's the bottom line. Um,
exactly.
so this week I talked to Crystal, and I was just thinking about, you know, us and our issues and how we have a hard time um, expressing ourselves to doctors. And then I listened to Crystal, and I'm telling you guys, we're going to listen to Crystal. But I personally had a conversation with her, and I could barely stop crying because it's just a lot that's going on inside that one facility. One facility in the state of Michigan, and it seems like there's no accountability. So I want to play um, Crystal because I think it's important for us as women, as activists, to hear from the person that we're advocating for. You know, this is the only way that she can use her voice, and I want to make sure that when she speaks, that she can be heard.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hear from Crystal, you guys.
My name is Crystal Denise Clark. My MA number is 435064. I'm in WHV, the Valley of Death, with these demon doctors. Like, I've been trying to get in touch with y'all for a while. Like, this is heartbreaking. Like, ain't nothing been done. Like, they not doing anything. Like, but denying my help. I be trying to go to healthcare. I roll so many kites, explaining and telling them how I'm feeling, how my body is. I'm in pain, how, you know, just explain like the knots in my breast is getting bigger. It is just heartbreaking that I'm going through this and sitting here and they are just letting it happen, torturing me. I'm sitting here. I have never seen nothing like this in my life. Actually, when I say again, I said over and over how the mold is growing out my body and gets people can see it, gets looking at it, and everybody like they so scared to even be around me. Some of the people like they scared they might catch it. Like this is wrong. I haven't like if half would have been taking me to my appointment. God, they would have been taking me to my appointments when these knots started. And I've been telling them, I told the doctor before over and over, like they're getting bigger, something is wrong. Like I could feel it, like, oh, it's nothing. I'm supposed to been follow up every 3 to 6 months. 2022, I had appointments. I didn't go to this year, and now they saying it's too masses. It's groove. They're groove, like they just growing out of order. Now I gotta take a biopsy. I'm just so like tired, y'all. I'm just so tired. And forgive me for crying. I'm tired of this. I'm so sick of these evil demons in here. They don't deserve to be called no doctors, nurses, any of that. The administration and the warden, they are pitiful. They are pure evil. Evil because they see what's going on. They been seeing what's going on. This has been going on too long. It ain't nothing been done to these people. Like, how can I get away with this? You can sit there and walk in my face every day and see how I'm suffering, see how sick I am, and do anything. Do anything. And the ones say, oh, it's so much we can do. You right. You saying so much you can do. How about you go and report it to the higher ups? You ain't even got to even say your name. Just report what's going on. It's too many people who have lost their life in here that was sick and still is sick and gets dying. Like, how many people is going to take the prison? Like, this is unacceptable what they are doing. Like, all parties, these people need to be. Don Jones, I said again, Hum Tinsley, Dr. Ellison, the warden, this is crazy. You run the facility, you do rounds. And when I talk to you, you shut me up, you shut me down, telling me to shut up. But you talk to everybody else. I didn't do this to myself. I deserve the right medical care. I deserve to get treated way better than it is. We all do. This is crazy, but what they doing to me, this is crazy. It's heartbreaking. Like, the lady asked me, she said, I've been down with you. I've been down 30-some years, but to see your struggle and what you've been going through and what you're still going through, I don't see how you made it. You're a strong lady. But God, I told her my faith in God. My trust in God. Damn it, I'm getting tired of this. I'm sick of this. I gotta come out and put a smile on my face and act like nothing is wrong with me. When the inside my body is just this stuff is eating me up. It's really eating me up. Y'all, I showed the doctor on the tent. I showed him. I took my shirt off and showed him my chest and everything. The nurse was in there with us, and she was like, "Yeah, you know, they think that he tried to still downplay it. It's coming out my body. He's still trying to downplay this. Like, this is not funny. This is my life. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. They throwing my case away because I'm not getting response. They just throwing them away. Like, they don't want to document anything because they know that if they start documenting, they see people going to start seeing what they've been covering up. This must stop, y'all. This got to stop. Damn it, this got to stop. This is not right. I'm tired. I'm tired. This is wrong what they are doing. I'm really trying to stay strong. Like, I just don't know how much longer. Like, you know, it's me. People can say they feel your pain. No, you don't feel my pain. You're not going through what I'm going through on a daily basis. Getting up every day. Falling to your knees, asking God, please don't take you. In pain, swelling, nosebleed, barely can eat. You had to force yourself to eat. Barely can make a bowel movement. Gotta look at your skin like this. Can't take your mask off because you get made being fun of. Not just by inmates. My office is too, like, this is crazy. I'm going through this. This is what I go through on a daily. Like, like, this is crazy. This is so sad and crazy. Like, and begging and crying, been begging for help for years. I've been just asking, can y'all send me out to get the right treatment? Can y'all send me to my appointments? I wouldn't be like this if they would have been doing what they're supposed to do. It's their fault. It's their fault. And yes, I'm hurt. I'm angry. They failed me. They neglect me and failed me, torture me, deny me care because they try to cover up for a paycheck. They don't come in here to help us. They come in here for a check and to control us. It's a control thing. How is they getting in here that easy? The medical field, the limitations they doing need to be made to do harder, make it harder for them so they can do their job the right way. They just getting in here easy, taking a little test and getting in here. Like, we need to do background checks on these people. We got these doctors and nurses and people just getting in here, probably don't even know what the hell they doing. Look what they doing. Because it's easy to get in here. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like, more need to be done. Like, we deserve better. We still human beings. No matter where we at, we still deserve better than how we get treated. Enough is enough. This is just sad and heartbreaking what they are doing. And I'm tired of it. And I'm trying to stay strong. I'm tired. It's not right what they are doing. This is a game. I've been down 14 in some years. And ain't nothing been done. Ain't nothing been done. It's just getting worse and worse. And they laughing. And they say ain't nothing gonna be done to them. They say it in your face like you can call and tell who you want. That's all they throw up. But I'll be damned if I keep on. I'm going to speak out, and I'm going to fight until something is done, until it gets into the right people's eyes, and they can hear and see what's going on. This is unstoppable. Every day, we just lost another one. Every day, we losing these people in here. They got these people sitting up here in the infirmary part. These people get sick and dying because these is not doctors. These is not real doctors. These are demons in here that's coming in here trying to control us. That's them the devil, because no doctor in the world will sit up there and let us suffer like this and won't help us. Real doctors care. They put their life on the line. They care. Real nurses, they care about us. They care about our health. These people come here for a dang old paycheck, and that's crazy and control. And the controllers, they can sit there and gossip and talk about our health. Talk about the people that's doing drugs and they're giving them the Suboxone shots. They sit there and just talk about us like we're not human beings. Maybe if y'all stop bringing these drugs in and giving it to these people, even these pregnant people, I never saw nothing like this. It's so heartbreaking. They're using drugs in here with their babies. If y'all stop bringing it in, and what these people wouldn't have the opportunity to get it, because they would have it if y'all stop bringing it in. This is sick. This is what they are doing. Got these ladies in here just pregnant, juicing drugs, and y'all giving it to them. Like this, Lord Jesus. I'm so sorry, y'all, but I'm so tired. Enough is enough. We should not be living like this. I'm not going to stop speaking out. I know that they've been shaking my room down. And it's okay, because God sees everything that they're doing. And they will not get away with this. I'm telling you, God is going to come and show out on this place. I'm just trying to stay strong and stay focused. I'm tired of breathing this stuff in. My lungs, y'all, I'm telling you how my body is. It's just every day. But I just thank y'all for keeping me strong when I get that email that Jay paid. Telling me that y'all care. And y'all here. Oh, God. That uplifts me. It's like y'all tell me I'm uplifting people out there. Y'all uplift me, too. We stick together and fight together. Something can happen. A change will happen if we stay together and stick together. Like, this is unbelievable, unstoppable what's going on. And it must stop. And I won't stop fighting until God take every breath out of my body. I will continue on fighting and standing for what's right. Like I said, you got good and you got bad. Some demon doctors. They are killing me in here. They are killing me. Deny my help. And you're supposed to care about me? This is crazy. I wish I could be a fly on the wall and see what's going on in here, and then they laugh and solve. This is not funny. This is not funny. But I just wanted to tell y'all it was going on, like. But I gotta stay strong and I gotta keep faith and know that God got me. And I just ask God. I know y'all out there fighting and y'all care to cover y'all and show y'all how to fight, because y'all need the prayers too. Oh my God. I'm just trying, y'all. I'm just, you only can do so much. I'm just trying. It's not right. I want to be back myself. I want to look back myself. I want to get the right treatments, take the pain away, the swelling, the nosebleeds, the headache. I want to be able to eat right. I want to be able to use the bathroom. It's so embarrassing. I just want to be able to. My left eye is, after my sight is gone. Like, I'm seeing black spots. I want to be able to be back right. So they be mad that I'm crazy. That's all they say to me. It's all in my head. I'm crazy. It's not in my head. When all my tests and stuff, showing y'all something wrong. Some of the ones that y'all to rig up because y'all don't bleed the other ones, so y'all try to redo them and rig them. Y'all know this is not right. And mental health, y'all have to be ashamed of yourself. Y'all sit up here trying to dose us up on medication so we won't be remembering nothing. And and thinking about anything. Y'all are sick in here. Y'all need the medication. How's y'all working here? This is you know what? They working here because this is their home, the double home. They should be in these bars. Let me take that back. They should be in these bars. You got mental health supposed to care and see what's going on. No, all they doing is trying to dose us up. Just study, trying to force me. I had to sign off, force me to take medication. Like it's all in my head, so I wouldn't think about my pain. Somehow it's all in my head. Like, that is so heartbreaking when they know it and they read my medical records right in my face, seeing there's something going on. That's a shame. That's a shame. That's a shame. And they see it. They can see it. You want to give me medication that made me out here like a zombie. They got people around here, we like zombies in here. They walking around. Can't even focus, can't even think of nothing because they dosing them up on higher dose of medication. This needs to stop. This needs to stop. Ain't nothing crazy about me and they know it. What's crazy is them. They are crazy. And they need to be behind bars. All of them. All parties. Everybody who got something to do with it. Not just me, because it's other people. It's hurting them. And scared to stand up for themselves. They scared to fight for themselves because look what's going on. Because really don't nothing.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Don't be nothing be done. But I will fight to a change. To something change. It will be a change in WAC. I just ask y'all to stand with me and stand with us. I love y'all so much. Families, fight for your loved ones behind bars. Not just in the women prison, men too. They going through a lot. Fight for us. Stand with us because we need y'all. We need y'all. Fight. This is crazy. This is crazy. There's so much going on. It's crazy. Just fight with us and stand with us. Don't give up. Don't give up on your loved ones. Fight for them. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. May God bless all of you.
So, you guys, this is the article that Miss Diane wrote on behalf of Crystal and what's going on. Behalf of Crystal and all the other women that's in Huron Valley prison. This article, you can find it online at the Voice of Detroit. But she really goes into detail about, what's going on there and the case, the pending case. She talks about the judge that who she dismissed the case, but she dismissed the case in order for them to refile the case. So, Reverend T, is that going on with Crystal's case? They're redoing the case?
Yeah, they dismissed the you mean the one where the case the Judge Victoria, get her last name. She had when they dismissed it because they said that the mold was not related, could not be verified as a reason. I think it's put really clear in the
Yeah, pretty much she was trying to tell them like they need to go back and refile it and saying, hey, that the prison is dirty and because of the ventilation is the reason why that mold is spreading around there and that will violate the 8th Amendment. So
and to me it violated anyway because they dismissed it saying that in a way they could not verify that it was the mold that caused her conditions.
Right.
And so they did not get they did not win that case.
Right.
So they're going at it again, and I pray that they get through. Yeah, that's right, Trisha. Thank you, Trisha. She said this is exactly right, right, and it's in Trisha's in the flyer for the event on the 12th where we'll be out there. So she said that the prison doesn't have to provide a mold-free environment. Right, right, and they don't have to because they're not considered. Remember this: once you get behind bars, you're considered slave.
Right.
You're considered a slave. So you are not open to the rights of like everybody else. Now, are you open to human rights? Does that make you not human?
Yes.
So these are the things that this is ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous.
The mold is in the heating and the ventilation. It's in all through that
everywhere.
place.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a picture, you guys, of Crystal's ear when she was on the video showing her family of the mold. It's growing in her body.
It's in her ear. Yeah.
It's in her ear. And then through that case, they found these 3 toxic molds that was found inside of Women Huron Valley. I mean, it's part of the case.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of these molds that they found can cause all kinds of damage and illnesses. So they know it's in there. So I wanted to bring this up because we talked about the money. Sometimes we just have to follow the money. And Crystal was talking about the doctors. So this is the Grand Prairie Healthcare Services that the state of Michigan is paying $590 million, right? So when we say the state of Michigan, we're talking about us as the citizens of Michigan. Our tax money is paying for this $590 million. They got this contract, and they're supposed to they're supposed to be better than the health people who was there before Horizon. And I dealt with them, Horizon, when Gerard was inside with his Crohn's and stuff. But they're connected to this company called Path, which all these companies, all they do is once they get lawsuits, they change their names. And it's been, if you look them up, you'll see how they change their names and they become a different company, but they're the same company. And they get all these contracts with these prison facilities because it's cheaper for them to, get these people outside vendors than them to pay the state to have their own state health care. So
yeah, and it's probably less scrutiny.
Right. It's
less scrutiny. They got these people coming all the way from Tennessee.
Right. And they already been linked to about 70 deaths, this company. And they're very controversial. They did a lot of stuff. And I'm sure if anybody, before they gave them this contract, that they know about their history. But this is the people who are providing the health care who is the doctor works for that's taking care of Crystal. These are the people. And so as you listen to Crystal and she talks about it, this doctor all the time who is not even listening to her, and he's getting all the other people on board, so, and they're trying to feed her, telling her that she's crazy, but she has all these symptoms and she's been sick a very long time. Nobody, have you ever seen anything like that in somebody's ear? Come on now. So we're gonna go back out to Women's Huron Valley in May. May the 12th, and stand in solidarity with them for Mother's Day, for the mothers that are incarcerated in that place, to support also Crystal, to bring awareness what's going on to her and the others in there. And Reverend T, I like your idea about maybe a letter writing campaign or email writing campaign. We're gonna have that information next week where we can start sending emails, who we need to send these emails to. Next week, we're gonna have that information because we really need to bring awareness. And for all the people in there that's telling her, I don't care who you talking about, or I don't care, they can't do nothing. Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Like Crystal said, if we all work together, if we all stand up, and if we advocate more for ourselves, it would be so easy for us to advocate for others. So we had to do more to stand up for her. This is just insane that she's
It's ridiculous.
I'm just like, I'm just lost for words. Like it clearly being molded in the prison and everything, and she's a product of that. How is like there's no one saying no, that's not allowed, that's not
There's no
okay.
oversight. There's no oversight. There's no oversight. There's no accountability there. Who's watching to see what they're doing? If you go anywhere else, there's some type of guideline that you're supposed to be following. And where's that? Where's the credentialing for that? Who's over that?
The ombudsman is supposed to be, but there's also the Department of Oversight has been defunded in Michigan. We just was talking about that a couple of weeks ago, that the governor has defunded that department. So when you talk about if there's no oversight, of course they're going to say, well, ain't nobody going to do nothing to me. They know.
Yeah.
And that's why they're getting away with it.
They put the part they forget is that these are people's loved ones. They got
Right.
people on the outside that care. That's us and a lot of other people. So you could say it ain't this, it ain't that, but it's gonna come out, and the truth is coming out. They'll have a day.
Yeah.
Community is holding them accountable.
Yeah.
I mean, they're reaching all the way out to Tennessee. They're avoiding, they're not even utilizing the doctors here. They're not utilizing how come DHS is not involved? How come we're out, so we've gone outside to handle what is here in Michigan? This makes no sense.
Leslie said, won't oversight be Dana Nessel? It would be, but Dana Nessel is, according to the lawsuit, she is the lawyer for the prison, the lawyer for Heidi and all the rest of them that they're suing. So they can't even go, how is Dana Nessel oversight for the prison if she's standing up for the ones who are the part of the problem? It's just a hot mess.
Yeah.
You think we would think that Dana Nelson would be for them, but no, she's standing up for the other ones, the director, because they're suing like most of the people that. If you read this article again, it's in the Voice of Detroit. It's written by Miss Diane, who's here often. Make sure you go into Voice of Detroit online to read the article about what's going on inside of there.
Yeah.
So, and then also don't forget, March the 12th, we're going to be at Huron Valley. We're going to have some information next week about how we're going to do, what we're going to do with the emails and the letters. If you want to connect with Crystal, I know a lot of you have, and I thank you so much, because really when I talk to her, that helps her a lot, just reading your emails and your JPEGs, your letters. This is Crystal address. Just send her a letter of support or love, or send her a card, or send her a JPEG. She will respond to you. I mean, I talked to her kids. It's just a lot. That's heavy on her. Her mother's starting to get really sick now because it's just so much to
Yeah.
hear how KRYSTAL is suffering. So, also want to bring to your attention that this Saturday is the third Saturday. And so join Survivor Speak on Zoom for the wrongful conviction support group. And also for the wrongful conviction task force. That's on Zoom as well at 1 p.m. on Saturday. So it's hard when we have to leave on this note, but we have to have these conversations about what's going on for us, ourselves as women, and also for our incarcerated sisters here in Michigan that's suffering. Um,
Yeah.
Okay, she said, can you repeat where to find the call to action info and the info on the types of modes unless you already addressed the article? Okay, I will also post it on my, Leslie, I will post it on my Facebook page. You guys will be able to find the information on the Justice for Gerard page. Go to Voice of Detroit for the article. Allie, you put something, you put the link in there. Allie put the link on the in the Facebook. So if you click on the link there, you can read it. But yeah, we're gonna do a urgent call to action next week in order to support KRYSTAL, our next phase before we go out there in May.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
let's
you guys,
we bombard them with letters and even the written letters. We have to bombard them because and bombard the people who are, they need to take action. It's just ridiculous.
right?
This is too long. It's just too long.
Yeah. And I will have the video of the audio that you guys heard in video form on my page, if not tonight, tomorrow. So you guys can share it on your platform, share with others. The more we get out about what's going on with KRYSTAL, the more hopefully people will support this cause. She needs to see a doctor. She needs to be in a hospital. When I talked to her this week, she hasn't been to the bathroom, been able to have a bowel movement in weeks. It's insane. And they haven't even addressed that. So, yes.
I mean, it seems like they're trying to just.
They're awful. They're awful. So, anything else you guys want to add tonight before we leave?
Taking a breath right now. We just take a breath.
Yeah, I'm at a loss for words, if I'm being honest.
God.
I'm at a loss for words. It's just unacceptable. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
When I'm like this, there's not much I want to do but protest. So.
I know.
Exactly.
We got to storm the wall. Right. Trisha got to get better because we can't be going out there while she's sick. Because Trisha will hop and go. No, we got to wait till Trisha, you got to get better. So we can go out, storm up out there again. But really, because this is ridiculous that this lady is suffering like this. And then all the things that they're doing to egg it on. Like they're egging on the prisoners. They're getting them involved. She's dealing with a health issue. And then you trying to retaliate by the things that you're doing to her to make it even worse. But yeah.
That's horrible. Horrible. I just know that I'm believing that change is getting ready to happen. Change is going to happen. And I think we cannot be quiet on this. And we can't be quiet on any of these things. We can't. It's time to stand up It's time to believe God. It's time to know that there are answers and solutions, and bombard these desks. Give them something to do. Make them. They have to listen. Make them listen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here, because we're going to be the voice for KRYSTAL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys, that's it for tonight. If you don't have anything else to say, it's a lot and it's heavy, but you know, heavy is the crown. So, well, we'll talk to you guys next Friday. Take care. Take care of yourselves. Drink water. Get second opinions. Don't take no for an answer. What else can I say? Study. Advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. And voice for the voiceless. Yes. And use your voice. Use your voice. And we'll see you next Friday. Turning a moment into a movement.